Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, making some really good trades, and I actually hope you guys had a good weekend, relaxed, enjoyed, and did some fun stuff, got outside, maybe, you know, didn't stay glued to the charts because Bitcoin didn't do too much this weekend, and we can see that right now. Bitcoin has closed and confirmed a candle above this previous this previous resistance, now testing it as support. So looking good to get some more upside. Maybe we're going to go tag that $26,500.50 level right here. But ultimately, I still think Bitcoin will move lower towards the downside, potentially maybe after tagging this major trend line right here. But just to, for the reason, and for the people who are wondering why I'm still so bearish, is you don't want to just take a look at Bitcoin. You want to take a look at the other markets as well, especially the markets that are going to lead the trend of Bitcoin. So right now, let's take a look at the S&P 500. We can see that this is the Dow Jones, the S&P 500 right here, looking quite bearish in my opinion. Starting to run into some heavy resistance. As you can see, you got the 200-day moving average. You have this major trend line coming right down here, which is going to be acting as resistance around the 4350 to 4300, 4310 area. Basically, in general, around this area, you're going to start to see some resistance. You got these pivots highs right here, and then you have this trend line as well for the S&P 500. So some pretty major resistance coming in for the S&P. In my opinion, I still think the S&P could potentially go up a little bit more and start to chop around this area, right? You might start to see some sideways action, right? Some distribution, potentially some profit taking in the markets, and then you're going to move lower. You're going to take that next leg towards the downside, potentially come back and test the 50-day moving average, which we have right here. Or you could probably move down towards these previous lows, and if that level doesn't hold, then you're going to go to potentially go back, retest those 2020 highs. So that would be a very big drop in the markets. That would actually be another 21% move towards the downside. But we've been making sort of these similar moves towards the downside. You can see that from the top here towards the down, we had a 15% move towards the downside, and then we had a 12% rally, right? And then we had our next leg down, which was over 22% or 21%. And then we had a rally, right? From the lows, you can measure it from here. We're up 17%. Can we get to 19%? Maybe 20%? Yeah, maybe we'll get up to 19%, and then we'll do some sideways action, and then we're gonna get our next leg down because we are in a bear market. The Fed is tightening, and the whole market is rallying on the whole basis that the Fed is going to pivot soon, right? And in my opinion, that's going to be a little bit foolish because the Fed is pretty determined right now. Obviously they're really behind the curve, and they're really behind on their tightening cycle. They're not doing it properly. They're not even unloading their bonds, but they're probably going to put in a few more rate hikes and before they overdo it, and then something's going to break, and then the market's going to start to tank again. And when the market's going to be down maybe 40-50%, then they'll start to potentially start to think about cutting rates, and then we'll have our next bull run in Bitcoin and in the markets as well. But the inflation's a really big problem right now. 9.1% in the US. Sorry, now it's 8.7 or 8.5. I don't know, but it doesn't really matter because Joe Biden said that there was no inflation last month, so everything should be okay. Just kidding. But yeah, overall, Bitcoin, when the S&P 500 starts to chop sideways around this area, starts to distribute in the coming weeks, you might see a big rally in Bitcoin as it's been lagging, in the markets right now. But overall, you'd have to break 25,000. Bitcoin is struggling right now. As you can see, we're kind of like in this bear flag right now, which could maybe take us to our next leg down towards $10,000. I know a lot of people don't believe that's going to happen. They're kind of in denial at the moment. We're probably going to get a big surge towards the upside. Maybe we'll actually tag that 200-day moving average. But if you guys want to see what I'm doing for my trades, you guys can join the Discord. The link's in the description. You guys can see everything that I'm doing in the markets right now. And right now we're getting a little bit more upside in the altcoins as well, so that's nice to see. I believe Shiba Inu pumped up 34% in one day today. It's pretty funny. As you know, this coin's still alive. Yeah, 41% but it ended up closing around the 35% mark. We're getting a little bit more upside right now. We actually tagged that 200-day moving average right here. Let's see if it's going to hold as resistance. The RSI is extremely overbought right now. Same for the 4-hour, but we'll see. We'll see. These coins are very unpredictable. The dog coins, as I should say. Dogecoin getting a nice little pump candle today as well. Probably going to see some resistance around this area, around the 0.086 mark. Around this area, you're probably going to see some resistance. But yeah, overall, bullish in the very short term, bearish in the medium term, and obviously, you know, in the extremely long term, 4 to 5 years from now, extremely bullish on Bitcoin. So if you guys want to trade Bitcoin, you guys can do that by signing up in the link in the description on BitGet Trading. That's where I do all my trades. You guys can get actually up to like $4,163 in bonus. Again, to get that bonus, you have to deposit a substantial amount of Bitcoin. Again, it's not free money, so you do have to complete tasks and do a little bit of trading in order to get those rewards. Just to be clear, some people sign up and then they message me. They're like, "Where's my $4,000?" You know, thinking like they just because they sign up they get $4,000. Obviously, there's no free lunch in these worlds, and if someone offers you a free lunch, it's probably a scam. So just be smart, guys. think about it. Obviously, nobody's gonna give you $4,000 for free. You obviously have to do something for it. But honestly, if $4,000 is all you have, I probably wouldn't recommend depositing it all on an exchange, right? I'd probably put a majority of it away on a ledger, on a cold storage wallet. Let's take a look at Market Cipher. Finally, we had some requests in the Discord to look at the 2-week. The 2-week candles on Heiken and Shi on Market Cipher. Let's take a look right here. So right now we have a 22 and a -3 looking very, very bullish on the 2-week time frame. So we could see that once we've gotten these green dots, it kind of signaled the bottom for Bitcoin. But what's happening in the economy right now, I really don't think that this is going to be the bottom in the markets, which could mean that Bitcoin is going to get another leg down towards the downside. So right now you can see that we did get a big green dot right here as well on Bitcoin on the 2-week time frame, and that kind of marked the lows basically, or the lows were actually around this area, but ultimately, you know, Bitcoin kind of trended sideways from there and then had its next bull run. But Bitcoin has only been alive for, you know, since the Fed has been doing quantitative easing. Basically since 2008, they've always been printing money and Bitcoin's always been going up, right? Now we're entering a tightening cycle, so we're gonna have to see how Bitcoin is going to perform, right? A lot of people think nothing has changed, but a lot of stuff has changed, and you need to adapt and you need to react to what's going to be happening in the market. So we can see right now, look at that, we have a -5 and a 20 right now on the weekly time frame. Some very, very bullish action right there on Bitcoin. And take a look at the daily time frame. It's actually looking a little bit bearish, but you know, you have a 13 and a -1, not that bearish. You have a red dot on Market Cipher A and a Market Cipher B, but you got that green money flow, so things could be looking good for more upside in this coming week. Let's see how things play out. I believe there's some China news coming out right now. The China data is coming out. I haven't taken a look at it yet. Maybe I'll just switch my tab over. I'll refresh the data. Preliminary GDP 0.5%. Oh, sorry, that's the Japanese data. Sorry, the Chinese data comes out in 15 minutes. So we're going to talk about that in the Discord shortly, right after this video. And let's take a look at BWWP or BBWP, which is an indicator that Infinity, one of our technical analysis traders in the Discord, that uses to predict these big moves in the markets. As we can see, once we get that volatility near the zero line, there is going to be around a 28% move. But again, it does not predict the direction of the move. So just mind you, always keep that in mind. Again, if we get a 28% move on average, that should bring us to around $30,000 on Bitcoin. But if we get a 28% move towards the downside, that would bring us to around the previous lows right here, around 17,000, I believe. Yeah, 28% from there would basically be the lows from here. So maybe we're going to be trapped in this range. Maybe we're going to be stuck here, guys, because we have been forming these ranges, right? When Bitcoin starts to calm down, maybe we're going to top out around 25,500 and then we're going to reverse down. So who knows? But overall, we have a pretty good chance of reaching 26 to 28,000 depending on the current market conditions for the S&P. If we get more upside, then you're probably going to get some more upside in Bitcoin, and things are already going up on Bitcoin, so looking pretty good. Anyways guys, thanks for listening. Hopefully you guys made some good trades. Love you guys. Peace.